Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. I am your host, Tom Downey, joined today by our special guest, Brent Korobotic, the head risk manager over at BetDSI. Brent, thank you so much for stopping by.
A pleasure to be with you, Tom.
Of course, so we'll start things off here. We'll discuss the Cowboys and the Bucs game. Maybe no surprise, the Cowboys are about a 7-point favorite. With a lot on the line, a win here secures the NFC East.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a game that's been was set up by the fact that the Eagles won last week and Dallas lost, so this game kind of gained some importance there, obviously. But yeah, I mean, Dallas is in a great position, obviously, in terms of the standings and everything, sitting where they are at 8-6. Even though they're only one game ahead of the Eagles, they're obviously in a great spot where they have to win this game. Looking at my betting action, I am getting support for Dallas, which probably is no surprise. I've got a wager count in terms of the number of bets I've taken that favors Dallas, about 3-1. So Dallas is getting support from the public bettors, but line really hasn't moved so very much. I mean, we try and hold on to numbers like 3 and 7 as much as possible and not move off them. I am using 7 and the -115, just making it a little more expensive to bet on the Cowboys because I do have that kind of one-sided action, but it looks like it's just public money coming on that side. I do have sharp action involved in this game as well. Perhaps no surprise that I'm getting money on over where Tampa Bay's involved. That's been a trend, for weeks and weeks now, ever since actually back since Fitzmagic, and it really hasn't stopped even with Winston at the helm. Sharp money came in on this total at over 45.5, and we're all the way up to 48 as well. When sharp money goes on the over, it's never really good for us, Tom, just because generally speaking in a game when Tampa Bay is involved, the public's going to bet the over as well. So I've got public and sharp money both on the over 45 in this game. I mean, Tampa Bay's just given up a whole lot of points. Dallas defense, has been good, but not great. And of course, Tampa Bay does have a lot of offensive weapons. So it's going to be interesting how this one plays out. But the sharp money did come in on the total. You look at the home and road splits and stuff like that. You got Dallas, who's just been, part of the problem, I guess, for Dallas is they've been so good at home and not so good on the road. They've got the worst record in the division on the road at 2-5, yet they have the best record at home at 6-1. So, I mean, looking at back at that, if Dallas probably be in a lot better position if they could have win even just one more of those road games.
All right, folks. Well, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. First off, let us know who you think is going to win the game. Type C for Cowboys, type B for Bucs. After you do that, hey, go put some money down on the game. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys120. It gets you a 120% deposit bonus. What that means is you put down $50, they're going to get you 60 for free both. And if you're like me, you'll turn that 60 into 106 right now on BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Cowboys120 gets you that bonus. Brent, as we often do, let's take a look now at some Super Bowl odds and some little bit more change here. I'll point out the Saints moving a little bit further ahead now in terms of the odds.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints, they just continue to look good week after week now. I mean, they did lose that game at Dallas, 2 weeks ago, but still, I mean, the Saints do look like the best, the class, if you want to call it, in the NFC. But I mean, the Rams obviously are right behind them in terms of getting support. The other side of things, also you've got Kansas City, your usual suspect with the Patriots are always there. Very interesting with the Patriots just sitting where they are. It's kind of sneaky when you look at them. They're sitting at 9-5, and it's just like that's very un-New England of them. But you're obviously a team you still have to respect, and the Chargers and the Bears are right up there. I mean, Dallas is one of the big changes as well. I mean, Dallas, a few weeks ago in terms of winning the NFC, they were around, I think it was 2,500 was the price on them. Now they're 2,500 to win on the Super Bowl. Their odds are basically cut in half to win the NFC Championship, and almost in terms of the betting numbers and percentage, they're almost a lock to win the division now. I mean, they went on that big 5-game run. They've won 5 of their past 6, so that's a big swing for the Cowboys sitting where they are. Looking at the Eagles in Washington, the only two really behind them who, if you want to call it with a chance, I mean, Philadelphia's really only got it around, mathematically speaking, it's about a 9% chance that they have, and that's reflected on the lines there. And Washington, everything that the collapse they've had with all their quarterback problems, they're down to just like under a 4% chance to win the division. So it's almost all Dallas. They're up around 95, 97% to win that thing.
I can't say it's much of a surprise the odds don't favor the Redskins given just how decimated they are by injuries. Let's move now to the Sharps picks this week, and the one we kind of already mentioned was that Bucs Cowboys game with the over. A pretty drastic movement so far.
Yeah, that is a big move when you go from 45.5 to 48, and I get a sneaky suspicion just because the public's on the over as well that will probably touch 48.5. And again, the thing too is if Dallas does what they're supposed to do in terms of pulling ahead, what happens is you get Tampa Bay, throwing the ball a lot, which means you're killing the clock a lot in between downs. You're not running off the clock as much. And obviously they have a lot of offense to put up points. Then you get to kind of a back and forth affair, which is kind of dangerous for us. But yeah, it's a 3-point move basically up to where we are right now, and I see that probably going up to 48.5 right now. Other sharp stuff for the week, yeah, we got the Patriots, and there's one of those kind of misconceptions out on the market that sharp guys don't lay double-digit favorites and stuff like that. But I mean, sharp guys lay numbers like that all the time when they're looking to win. I mean, this one opened at 12.5 and basically got bet up to 13 right away. Now we're up to 13.5. New England obviously needs this win big time. They're sitting at 9-5, and Miami is kind of right behind them off that kind of fluky win they had a couple weeks ago, sitting at 7-7. But the division's pretty much New England's to win. I think they can ice things with a big win here against Buffalo. They did beat Buffalo already this season. I think they beat them by around 19 points, easily covering this number as well. So, but that, with Buffalo and New England beat them, that was Derek Anderson at quarterback. So we'll see how things play out. Hopefully I won't have to go up to 14 with New England, but this number just keeps, trending upwards. Atlanta was a sharp play as well. Now, I will, part of what we do here in terms of risk management is having a good profile of our customers in terms of their betting trends and how they go through the market. And basically the Atlanta play was strictly a price grab, and I think it was bet based on the fact that they kind of had a strong feeling that Newton wasn't going to play this week just because he looked so bad last time on national television. I mean, you could tell his shoulder was giving him problems, and he's not playing at all. So they shut him down, and that was a price grab, I think, on Atlanta, getting him +3, -115. This line's flipped completely where Atlanta is now -3. So big move there. And again, I'm not saying it was sharp in terms of this guy might have loved Atlanta, but he loved the fact that this line was going to move and grab that. And Atlanta as well earlier this season in week 2, I think it was, they beat Carolina, so they got that win there. Moving on with more sharp stuff, looking at the Texans game there, +2.5. That was a sharp play as well. That line's down to 1. They're at Philadelphia, so maybe that's for the Cowboy fans out there. That may be good news for them in terms of the fact that sharps are getting Houston +2.5 on the road at Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, I think maybe the market could be overvaluing the win last week. Massive win, obviously, is a 13.5-point dog at the Rams. But you're looking at a Houston team as well, who's I think they're 10-1. They're past 11 after starting 0-3. So it's a decent position for us in terms of the fact that I've got a wager count right now of about 2-1 favoring Philadelphia. So the public seems to be still, remembering the most recent thing that happened. That was the big win by Philadelphia. So public still getting support for the Eagles, where I got sharp money the other way. Also, the Bengals were another sharp play. That was at +10, -115. It's interesting with this one in that the total has gone from 46 down to 44, and the spread went up the other way and it got grabbed. So it's interesting when, typical sharp plays, when you're looking for a low total and a double-digit spread like that often gets grabbed by sharp guys. So it's just, I think this is one maybe not so much just loving Cincinnati, where it's just the fact that the Browns right now are really overvalued, and that basically ever since Mayfield took over at quarterback, the public's been all over Cleveland. So they've been a bit overvalued, I would say. They are basically sitting at 6-7-1 and Cincinnati 6-8, so really not much separating the two. But obviously, Cleveland's in a lot better form though. So I think the fact that they touched double digit, just a real value grab is what I'll call it from the sharp money there.
All right, folks. Well, again, you can get in on the action as well over at BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Cowboys120 gets you a 120% deposit bonus. Put down $50, they'll hook you up with $60. Put down $100, they'll give you $120. Put down $500, be a big baller. BetDSI will give you $600 extra bucks to bet with, but you got to use that promo code Cowboys120 at chatsports.com/bet. Brent, thank you so much for stopping by.
I appreciate you having me on, Tom. Really appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
You too. Hey, Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.